welcome to the Unit 3 Lesson 4 intro video, People and the Environment. Here are objectives and standards, and you can pause to read further. Environment and resources. People depend on the natural environment to survive. We use it for our energy, for our water, food, and more. Natural resources can be renewable or non-renewable. An example of a renewable resource would be water and solar power. Non-renewable resources could be fossil fuels and minerals. They deplete over time and we can't get them back. Let's look at some major natural resources. We have the resource, the type, so renewable or non-renewable, how it's formed, and the major uses. Here we can take a look at soil is a renewable resource. It is formed slowly from rocks and organic materials through natural processes, and its major use is agriculture. A different example would be fossil fuels, which is non-renewable. Those are formed over millions of years from plant and animal material. So unlike soil, which is formed slowly, fossil fuels are formed so slowly that we can't renew them. And fossil fuels' major uses are energy, plastics, and chemicals. Let's take a look at how people use land. Reasons for land use. How people use land depends partly on the features of the land itself. For example, people living in temperate climates with fertile soil may use the land mainly for farming. People in Arctic areas may use the land mainly for hunting. Even in similar environments, however, people may use land differently because they have different customs and way of life. For example, a wetland in a developing country might be converted into farmland. A wetland in a developed country might be filled to create a shopping mall. Since the 1800s, industrialization has changed landscapes in many countries. Industrialization is the development of machine-powered production and manufacturing. When industrialization took place, large cities grew up around factories. Technology such as machines for clearing land and building roads has made it easier for people to change their environment. How do people impact the environment? People extract resources to use for wants and needs. Sometimes this can harm the environment if done incorrectly. For example, deforestation leads to loss of habitat for animal species. Another example would be improper farming methods that can lead to soil erosion to make that land no longer usable. Individuals, organizations, and governments can work together to minimize negative impacts on the environment and strive to use resources wisely. Population. Today, the world population is around 8 billion people. Demographers study how human population changes and why it changes. In recent years, birth rate is much higher than death rate, causing the population of the world to increase. This rapid increase puts strain on resources such as access to food, water, and housing. Why do people move? Migrating is moving as a group from one place to another. This is how people populated the earth thousands of years ago. Today, people still migrate in various ways. One example would be moving to a new city or town, or changing states or regions of the country. Emigrating is when someone leaves their home country, and immigrating is when they move into a new one. Reasons for migration. Push factors are reasons people leave their home country. So these are things that push them out. For example, they might be forced to leave because of war or famine. A pull factor is something that attracts people to a new place. For example, maybe the new place has many job opportunities. Urbanization is the movement of people from rural areas to urban ones. So this is a form of migration. Urbanization has been happening over the last 200 years since industrialization began. Reasons for this are the promise of new jobs, more housing, and a better life. However, there are challenges with urbanization, such as pollution, overcrowding, and crime. Here in the chart, we can see that over the last 50 years, there has been an increase of urban population in the world, and that's projected to continue in the next 25 years. Make sure to read the textbook pages and fill out your reading notes before you complete the quick check, and as always, message your teacher if you have any questions.